Hey, Adaptive Fitness, welcome to day 3 of week 1 of the Adaptive Fitness General Physical Preparedness program. Let's get started right away on the strength component for today. For standing clients, we've got a squat 5x5. Key points of the squat, we're going to be throwing our hips back and lowering down so that our thigh is breaking parallel. Stand all the way back up, get your hips through. Make sure your chest is staying up. If I'm right in front of you, I should be able to see all the words on the front of your shirt. And make sure that your knees track over your toes so that they're going out, and do your best to avoid them collapsing in at any point. If you have the air squat down and you can do 5 reps very comfortably without any weight, feel free to add some weight. If you have one piece of equipment, you can hold it in your front rack or behind your neck. And then if you have more, you can hold them both on your shoulders. Make sure you're keeping your elbows up, make sure your chest stays up, knees track out, heels press into the floor, and your whole foot remains on the ground. Next, for the seated clients, you have a couple options today. If you are comfortable with being able to stand, you can do a sit to stand progression. Same key points as the squat. It's just at the bottom you are resting in your chair. Same idea as the squat, knees stay tracking out, chest stays up, stand all the way up, sit down, and you can do the same progression where you hold the weight and give yourself a little extra resistance for that stand. But for those of you who will instead opt for the dip, you have a lot of options for the dip. I'm going to be using a chair. You'll just sit, legs forward, feet pressed into the floor, hands on the edge of the chair. Dip down, make sure you're bending your elbows. Your hips will bend along with you. And then without trying to press with your legs, just press with your arms straight up. You'll feel this a lot in your triceps. You feel that a little in your upper shoulders. And it's just that pressing motion of the triceps that we're working on right now. Same sets and reps with 5 sets of 5. And then you can also do the same progression where you, if you're comfortable, you can start adding some weight and do dips with weight in your lap. Next, we're going to go into our conditioning. So we'll start with the standing version. Step ups. You can pretty much find anything you want to do your step ups on. I have extra gym floor matting. You can use a chair, you can use a stool. If you have a box, that's perfect. But what the step up basically is you have just your object to step up onto right in front of you. So step one foot on, and then drive with that foot up to stand on top of the object. Step back down, alternate feet every time. And each of these will count as 1 rep. And then, if that's easy for you, and you want to scale that up, you can, ideally, the height you'll step onto will be higher. If it's already as high as it can go, then you can add some resistance. You can hold it any way you want, and then still do your step ups. All right. And then air squats. Exactly what I just demonstrated with the squat and strength component of today's workout. Just this time, no resistance at all. Squatting down, below parallel, knees out, chest up, stand all the way up. If you have range of motions issues and you can only, say, half squat, quarter squat, just feel free to do that, but work on getting as low as you can and standing up all the way. Finally, we have our bent over row. We'll do that with one piece of equipment. And pretty much you'll hold it on both ends. Bend your knees slightly, hinge forward at the hips, and then hang your arms forward. And it'll be kind of the reverse of the dip that I showed earlier. You're just pulling that inwards, then you go all the way back. And repeat that over and over. All right. So the way this workout works is you will have 1 minute to complete as many step ups as you can. And then at the end of that minute, you'll transition straight into air squats. And then once you're done with a full minute of air squats, you'll do 1 full minute of the bent over row. And then you'll have 1 full minute of rest. After that minute of rest, you'll go through the 3 movements again: 1 minute step ups, 1 minute air squats, 1 minute bent over row, 1 minute rest. And then you'll go through 1 more time for that 3rd round. All right. Now seated. All right. In place of the step ups, we'll be doing dumbbell plate hand step ups, which are going to be a little difficult to demonstrate. So this version of it requires you to go down onto the floor. I'll have a version if you cannot go down to the floor. But you'll have 1 dumbbell placed in front of a short surface, and you will be in this tabletop position with your hands and knees on the floor. And then what you'll do is you'll grab your weight, lift it up, place it on the box with one hand, use that same hand, pull it down, alternate hands, and bring that weight up to the surface, bring it back down. The seated version, if you remain seated, it will be essentially the same thing, except you'll be pulling from your chair, placing it onto a surface, take it off, switch hands. It might be more helpful if you remain seated to have a higher surface to lift up to. If you have a surface, say, around chest level, you can just do this from the lap, pulling it from your lap, place it down, and then bring it back onto your lap. Now the tricep extensions, pretty simple. You'll just have weight behind your head, extend all the way over, lower it. Pretty simple. Using the same muscles as from the dip earlier, it should feel similar. And then the high pulls. So this will be from the lap or from the floor if you're comfortable with that too. But you'll have your weight implement, and then you pull it up to your chest. Keep your elbows high, they should be above parallel. Do as many as you can. If you're comfortable going from the floor, you can do the same thing. Going from the ground, elbows stay high, back sit stays straight, and chest stays up. All right. Now on to, and that workout is, it's structured the same way. We'll do plate hand step ups for 1 minute, tricep extensions 1 minute, high pulls 1 minute, rest a minute. Go through that a total of 3 times. Now on to accessory work. We've got core accessory today. Let's clear some space out. First up, the dead bug extensions. Let me make sure you can see me on the ground. Oh. Yeah, there we go. So we will be in the dead bug position, which is lower back pressing into the ground and pretty much in a tucked position, everything else off of the ground. And then what you'll do is you'll have one arm come up and the opposite leg extend out, come back to Zunner, and then alternate. If this is too difficult to you, you can rest your shoulders on the ground and still do the same thing, or you can move one limb at a time. Or if you want to move one leg out, come back, move the arm, come back, that is okay too. Russian twists. Again, seated on the ground. Ideally, you'll have your legs up and one weight implement on one side. Then we'll just carry it over onto the other side and back. Really exaggerate moving the shoulders. The shoulders should follow the weight, just to make sure you're activating those core muscles. If that's too difficult, you can bring your feet back to the ground and then just do the Russian twist the same way. Third up is pigment taps. So this time we've got legs and back on the floor, or I guess just feet planted on the floor. Your lower back can sit on the floor, and then you're just going to reach side to side, touch your heels, keep your shoulders up off the ground, and just keep turning, keep your legs straight, keep your core tight. That's for 30 seconds. And then flutter kicks, same position. Lower and mid back pressed into the floor. You can press your hands into the floor, put legs up off the floor, and then they will just cycle up and down like so. If that's too difficult, you can have them sitting on the floor and then just alternate, do alternating leg raises. So you will go through, you'll do each movement for 30 seconds, rest a minute, and then do each movement for 30 seconds again. And now for seated, get the chair back out. All right, 1 minute of seated Russian twists. All right, you sit, have your weight off to the side, and it's the same idea as the Russian twist on the ground, where you're just shifting that weight from side to side. If you have a surface you can set the weight down on, that's perfect. If not, you can just go down to, you can just twist to a range of motion that is comfortable, where you feel your core working. Make sure you're staying engaged that whole time. And then 1 minute of seated crunches. I'll attach another video of this movement demonstrated. But basically, it's the same idea of the crunch, which it's that forward fold in the core, and then extend all the way up. So you should feel your core activating during that bottom phase, and then extend all the way up so that you're standing up. If you'd like an extra challenge, grab a dumbbell or any weight implement you have, and then weighted crunches. I think these will definitely show up later in the program, so it'll be useful to get used to them right now. So this exercise, it'll be 1 minute of seated Russian twists, 1 minute of the crunches, 1 minute rest, and you'll go through that a total of 2 times. That wraps up day 3 of week 1 of the Adapted Fitness General Physical Preparedness program. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.